Hey everyone, Vinny here, and I'm back with a list of horses that I'm excited to bet on in this year's Breeders' Cup at Keeneland. Most of these horses on this list should be decent prices. I think only one of them has a shot of being shorter than 2-1. The first horse I'm excited to bet on is a horse that should be running in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and that is Order of Australia. If this turf course is firm on Breeders' Cup Day, Order of Australia really likes this firm turf course at Keeneland. He won it 2 years ago at like 70-1. I doubt we get that price, but I think we probably get around 10-1 on Order of Australia. He did just come in third recently over this firm turf course, but he didn't have the greatest of trips that day, and that's definitely not the race they were prepping him for. This has been the target. I think we do see an improvement on Order of Australia in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He should be a decent price, and he will be on my tickets. The second horse on my list is Codys Wish in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He ran down Jackie's Warrior in the Forego at Saratoga last time out. He's just looked like a different horse since he turned 4. I'm expecting he won't be the favorite here. I think Jackie's Warrior is still going to take all the money, and with the rumor of Jack Christopher going to the Sprint, there's a chance that Codys Wish does float up a bit. He should get a pace, definitely with Jackie's Warrior running. He'll get another pace to close into, and if he's as good as he's been this year, he has no reason not to beat him again. So Codys Wish is another one I think will have some decent value and should have a good time at the Breeders' Cup. The third horse, it's really horses that I'm excited to bet on, is for the Breeders' Cup Turf, whoever Charlie Appleby decides to send over here. Charlie Appleby has had a very good year sending turf horses over for these stakes races. And the 3 that I kind of keyed in on if he sends are Rebels Romance, Yabir, and Adayar. I don't know if he's going to send all 3, and I would expect that either Rebels Romance or Yabir would probably be the favorite in that race, but I think it would be more of like a 7-2 type of favorite. I don't think the horse will be bet down beyond that. The turf is usually very competitive with other European horses. So I do think even if one of them goes off the favorite, that they are going to be a decent price. But Rebels Romance has won all 4 starts on the turf this year, has looked fantastic. He's won 4 in a row. Yabir had a couple tough losses earlier in the year, but he didn't really get pace in those races. He should definitely get pace in the Breeders' Cup. He won last year. He's always looked very good. He's a tough one to go against. And Adayar, it only has 1 race in 2022, but it was a solid effort. I don't know if he brings him over here, but he is a multiple Grade 1 winner who has the Grade 1s he won have been against some very good horses. He would probably be the higher price if he does send all 3, but all 3 of those, if they show up here, will be on my ticket for the Breeders' Cup Turf. The fourth horse here is more of a horse I'm going to key, and that is Epicenter in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I know everybody's talking about the Flightline versus Life is Good, and most people are on Flightline. I think Epicenter can at least get a piece of this thing, and he should be a good price based on who's entering here. I'm expecting Epicenter to probably be around that 5-1, 6-1 range, and he might offer some value keying in an exacta if you believe that Flightline is unbeatable, which I know most of us do. The horses coming out of the Travers have all run very, very well in their next start. Not all of them have won, but Zandon ran very big in the Pennsylvania Derby, lost to Taiba. Cyberknife ran a big race there too. Rich Strike almost won the Lucas Classic. That was a weird, definitely a questionable ride, but he still almost won, even regardless of that ride. He ran a huge race. So horses out of the Travers are all running very, very well, and Epicenter won that pretty easily. So if he improves off that Travers race like everybody else has out of it, he should be pretty tough here, and I don't see why he can't finish second and round out the exacta at a decent price, because the Flightline Life is Good exacta and the Flightline Taiba exacta, they're going to be very heavily bet. That one might offer a little value, and I don't think it's that far-fetched if Epicenter does run second here. And if by all means you think he can win, go for it. I just think he's a horse that still has more to prove, and there's still more in the tank there. So he's a horse that I'll be keying on in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And finally, this is the horse that I think is probably going to be the favorite. If she's not the favorite, I do think she's going to be shorter than 2-1. But that is Nest in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. I know that Malathat and Clariere are going to get play. Secret Oath, if she goes, is going to take her money because she's got a nice little fan base. And same with search results, and that kind of seems to be what the field is shaping up to be. I personally just think Nest is better. I think Nest is everything that everyone thought Malathat was last year, and I think she's just a better horse. She's going to be a single for me on most of my tickets on Breeders' Cup Day for the Distaff. I just think she's better. I think there's a lot more in the tank, and I kind of feel like we know what Malathat, Clariere, search results, even Latruska, if she ends up going. I know there's rumors that she's not. I feel like we kind of know what these horses are, and I feel like we haven't gotten to the end of what Nest is yet. So I'm expecting a very big effort from Nest in the Breeders' Cup, and she is a likely single for me, but she's the only one on this list I think is going to be shorter than 2-1. But there you have it. There's a few horses that I think are worth at least a look in the Breeders' Cup for your tickets in a few of the races. You can find me at Picks by Dynasty on Twitter. Again, I am Vinny, and I will see you next time.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best betting tips and coverage for the 2022 Breeders' Cup. Our wagering guides have cashed for thousands. You cannot miss our 2022 Inside Track wagering guide to the Breeders' Cup. So hurry up and subscribe, then go to RacingDudes.com, check out the free picks for every race, every track across the country, and the Inside Track to the Breeders' Cup wagering guide available soon.